All right. So I'm like super excited. So for Thanksgiving, I'm making a really high protein, super vegetable, low carb side dish. And I'm going to be doing chicken with a ton of vegetables and protein pasta. And I have my coffee. It's protein and coffee. This is the pasta of choice for me. You can do it in spaghetti or like little shells. Huge mix of vegetables. Onion, so it's a one whole entire red onion, a ton of cherry red tomatoes, broccoli, and I cut up my own garlic. I did two whole cloves. I cut it all up, diced it up. Now before I do the protein dish and before I do the chicken and the feta, I'm gonna cook this down. So I'm gonna throw it in a pan. I'm gonna skillet it a little bit, and then I'm gonna put everything together. So I'll be back in a second. So on top of all of the mixed vegetables that I have, I use an entire full bag of baby spinach because it'll give you this much spinach. So you put the whole entire bag in, and this is where we're at. So I suggest using the whole bag. Spinach has a ton of benefits to it, and it's something that a lot of people eat, and you can incorporate it in pretty much anything. And if you season it right, it doesn't have like a super overpowering taste, and it's a good way to just get some greens in. So in my skillet, I have olive oil, which I use for everything. And what I'm doing is I'm just cooking the vegetables down because it's all going into one pan. So on a medium heat, I'm sauteing all the vegetables together. I went ahead and cooked the spinach first just because we all know how that goes. The bag is humongous. Whatever, cook it down a little bit, and then I added all my other vegetables to it. All right, so I tend to over season everything, so you want to season to your liking. But I season my vegetables a little bit, and then I also am going to season my chicken and my vegetables together again afterwards. You don't have to do that, but I will. And I love red cherry tomatoes. You can add them to anything, and it gives it like a little bit of like an acidy flavor. Um, you can cook them. You can put them in the skillet. You can bake them. You can add them to any dish. Me personally, I like to add them to all my pasta dishes, and I do that and spinach often, and a little paprika to make it a little spicy. I like spicy food, so I put paprika in everything. It's really not that spicy. So I'm gonna cook this down like medium. I'm not gonna fully cook the vegetables because it's gonna go back into the baking sheet and it's going back into the oven. So I'm just gonna give it about another 5 minutes to soften everything up. All right, the vegetables are pretty much done. They're nice and soft. They're not too soft though. I didn't cook them to completion. So we're gonna let that sit for a second. We're gonna do everything else together. So what we're making is a chicken bake. So in a big baking dish, we're gonna put feta. So I'm dropping this block of feta directly in the middle, and then the chicken is gonna be all over the rest of it. You'll see in a second. All right, so the block of feta is going directly in the middle, and now I'm going to spread the chicken all around the feta. This chicken was washed and soaked yesterday. I did not season it for the purpose of the video because I wanted to season it with y'all. But I cut it and I cleaned it. I cleaned the hell out of it. I don't know. Clean it, don't clean it. I'm going to clean it. So now I'm going to take the chicken. And I'm just going to kind of spread it out throughout the pan. Alright, so the chicken is going all around the feta. Just pop it in just like that. Bang. Now, we're going to spread it out so that it's surrounding the feta. When it cooks down, the feta is going to melt and it's going to make a delicious creamy like sauce. So just like that, we're all set there. Alright, now we're going to season it. Feta's already kind of salty, so I'm not going crazy with the salt. Alright, paprika, more garlic. I love garlic. I'll always add garlic forever to everything. And a little onion powder. a little zesty, and a little lemon pepper. All right, now I'm gonna mix this together gently, kind of just massage it in. Now I season my vegetables too, but lightly season the vegetables. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want. But this is how I do it. All right, this is coming off. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna completely cover the chicken with the vegetables. I'm gonna pop it in the oven at 400 for 40 minutes to about an hour, depending on how the consistency comes out. But I want you to watch this first. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Ain't no competition. Two plays in my hand. She's washing bright. Already off his hand. Absolutely beautiful. Barely feel my hands. She sees fights and flank. Get a bitch out of her pants. All right, so it's completely covered, so it's smothered in vegetables. I'm gonna put this in the oven. We're gonna check back in 40 minutes, and then if we don't end up taking it out, we'll be back in an hour. So two things. I did not cover that. So I didn't cover the food. You can cover it if you're looking for it to be super, super moist. If you want it to be very, very wet. I don't want mine to be soupy. I want it to be like the vegetables are still a little bit crisp. That's why I didn't cover it. If you cover it, it'll lock in the moisture and it'll be super wet. Everything will be super, super soft. That's not what I'm looking for. I like the onions to be a little bit crunchy, and I want the broccoli to be cooked, but I don't want it to be soggy. So that's why I didn't cover it. All right, so we're about to take our dish out of the oven to see kind of like where it's at. But in the meantime, what I did was I went ahead and prepared my container so that it was good to go. So I have like just like a regular container, and I lined the entire thing with tin foil. Couple different reasons. One, I don't like when hot food directly hits plastic. And two, I want to keep it warm because it's traveling. I'm going to be traveling for Thanksgiving, not super far, but like far enough. And it won't ruin the dish. So that's that. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna check the chicken and kind of see where it's at. So it's been 40 minutes. We're at our 40-minute mark. We're gonna take it out and see what the consistency is. Shit. It's heavy as hell. So the top is perfect. I can't pick it up. All of the vegetables are nice and crisp. It has like a nice, really golden brown, and you can tell that it still has like a crunchy texture to it. But the most important part is the chicken. So I'm just gonna kind of like comb through it to see like how we're doing and where we're at. The chicken's cooked. Not to my liking though, so I'm gonna put it back in. I already knew that was gonna happen. And now the feta is like really starting to break up, so it's gonna have like a really creamy, saucy consistency. I wouldn't break up the feta yet. I want to be able to look at the chicken and see that the chicken is not pink. Sometimes when you get to like mix in the cream first, it'll create a little confusion on whether or not the chicken is cooked. I don't play however you want to. I don't. The chicken looks really good actually. I'm still putting it in for another 20 minutes. All right, so we put it in for another 20 minutes, and it's so much better. It's a lot better. The chicken is completely cooked. It was cooked before, but it's really cooked now. And I want to show you guys the texture and the consistency of it. So you can kind of see it from here. We're gonna add it to the traveling tin. So it's wet. You want it to be a little bit wet. You want it to be moist. You want it to have like a creamy, like saucy kind of feel to it because you're gonna add it to pasta. But you don't want it to be soupy, and you don't want it to be like super wet. So I'm just gonna break it up a little bit, and I'm gonna make sure that all of the feta and everything is spread throughout, and that the consistency is still really good. All right, so I went ahead and I like mixed all the feta in, and it's literally perfect. So this is how you want it to look. Soupy, nice creamy consistency. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add it to my traveling dish, and then when I get to where I'm going, I'm gonna cook my pasta. I'm gonna do 3 boxes of pasta, and then I'm gonna just kind of, everyone can like do their own thing, depending on like if you're gluten free or not or whatever. Um, so I'll heat it up when I get there, and then cook the pasta, and then you can serve it on top of pasta. So I went ahead and mixed everything together. I put it all in the dish. And now if I had covered it, the consistency would be even more soupier, which you do not want. It's already wet enough. Lighting right. So it's very good, very creamy, very, all the vegetables, the chicken is cooked perfectly. It's absolutely perfect. Bomb. Mad good.